Okay, so I'm hopping on here because I've been told by several people, a lot of people actually, to share my story, that it might inspire some other women, and for the rest of you, it can just be mildly entertaining. So I decided today, January 1st, is the day. Okay, so I'm not going to start at birth. I'm way too long in the tooth for that. But fast forward to when I'm 38 years old. Yes. So I was 38. I found myself single, and it was Christmas Day, 2006. Now you can do the math. And I, as much as I love these two friends of mine, I found myself on Christmas Day, 2006, sitting at one of my friends' kitchen tables. And he and I and another friend of ours were all kind of there together, just the three of us, having Bloody Marys. I had a Bloody Mary. I think they had a beer. But the three of us were talking, and I was like, man, I love both of you guys. I do. I love you. Two of my oldest friends. But this sucks. Like, it's Christmas Day, and the three of us are sitting at this kitchen table staring at each other. This is not what I want out of my life. And so both of them have known me forever, and both knew that basically since I can remember, all I've ever wanted is kids. I've always wanted to be a mom. That's a surefire way to weed out a man, ladies, is tell them on the first date you want kids. You figure out who wants to date you that way. But yes, everyone, including my high school sweetheart, everyone has known all I've ever wanted are kids. And I found myself at 38, divorced, childless, and sitting at this kitchen table. And so I told them, I said, look, I can wait forever to find a husband. Not forever, but my body can wait. My ovaries, my eggs can't wait much longer to be a mom. Physically, they just can't. So I'm going to have a baby this year. I'm tired of waiting. I'm just going to do it. Technology is there. It's 2006, right? So I decided I was going to do it, and I was going to do it alone, which, whatever, that was just my decision. Like it or not, it's my decision. Just save your judgment. And my other friend said, I'm going to start a construction business. Tired of working for other people. And my other friend said, I'm going to move out and be with my son in California because he's in college out there, and I don't want to be away from him anymore. So we kind of cheers to, new goals for the next year. And God has a funny way of or the universe, whatever you believe in, has a funny way of intervening when you make a decision and you throw something out there and declare it. When you declare it and you believe it with all your heart, and nothing is going to stop you, it's a decision, it's done, you're doing it, pretty much not much that will stop you. And God or the universe runs alongside you and runs in your favor. I mean, you leap and the net will appear. Like, you can figure out how to build a chute on the way down. Just leap and take that leap. I know I've been saying this for 30 years, but Steve Harvey just did a video, I think last year, on it that is phenomenal. So that was saying the same thing, leap and the net will appear. So I leapt. I got a sperm donor from the Sperm Bank of California, and I chose them because they are pro-women, they're pro-rights. They're the first to donate to single women and the first to donate to lesbian couples. And they're the only nonprofit, I believe, sperm bank left in the country. And they only allow 10 donors. 10 mothers to each donor. So they don't populate the planet, which is nice. So I made that decision, and I ordered my sperm and had it delivered. And my appointment was January 8th. Well, in comes God and the universe. New Year's Eve, I'm out shopping with my friend, one of my friends that was sitting at the table on Christmas Day, and he and I were shopping at a local Garden Ridge. It's like a place that has kind of everything, and houseware and just basically everything but food. So it was New Year's Eve, and he said, do you want to go shop with me? I need to get a bunch of stuff because he and his fiance had just broken up. And I was like, man, come on, it's New Year's Eve. And he's like, I'm not going out, come on. So I looked a mess because I'd been helping another good friend of mine who had just gotten divorced. I was helping him move out of his home into an apartment. So I looked a hot mess, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'm not going out tonight anyway. So I went with him to Garden Ridge, and lo and behold, we're looking at stuff, and some guy, this really handsome guy, leans over and says, oh, I wouldn't get that here, I'd get that at Target. And I was like, hello. And I thought maybe he worked there. And so we were talking to him for a second, and I said I didn't want him to think I was with my friend, like with my friend. So I said, my friend here, we're shopping because he and his fiance just broke up, and he's my friend, and and there was this little 8-year-old girl that popped out from behind him and said his ex-wife did the same thing. And I was like, he's single. So I was like trying to get my buddy to, leave, and finally took the hint and left. And I stood there and visited with this guy. And then my friend starts calling me, and I was like, ugh, I gotta go. My mom's calling. So I left, and that was that. And so we were checking out to leave, and I saw the guy over there looking at some stuff. So I was like, I'll be right back. So I went over, and I was like, pretended to look for something. And he said, can I help you find something? And I was like, oh, hey, no, I'm just looking for a Pisaki set and a clock. And he was like, here? And I said, yeah, well, yeah, I don't know, who knows? And he said, I don't think you're gonna find those here. And then my friend starts calling, he's ready to go. And I said, listen, I gotta go. It was nice meeting you. My name is Tracy. And he said, nice meeting you. My name is Brad. And I was like, well, I guess we're done here. So we left. And on the way to the car, I said, what if I'm supposed to marry that guy? Why aren't you interrupt me? And he's like, you're not going to marry that guy. You're ridiculous. Let's go. So we left. That was the end of that. So midnight comes. I'm on the phone with my girlfriend in Chicago, and the ball drops in New York. Or no, the ball dropped in, we watched it drop in Central Time. And so it was midnight. And I got off the phone with her. I was like, Happy New Year, Yoni. I'm out. So what did I do? I went and checked my MySpace at midnight on New Year's. And there was a message there from a Brad that said, hey, if you're the same Tracy I met at Garden Ridge today, I just wanted to say hello. If not, sorry to bother you. And I was like, what the? But back then, before, Facebook was so big, MySpace was big, and you could do a radius search, like a 50-mile radius search by first name. And he searched all the Tracys and found me, which is crazy. So anyway, we messaged back and forth, and we eventually, 3 days before my appointment for my fertility appointment, we went out on a date, and we went and had sushi. And at the end of the night, we were closing it down, and the restaurant down. I mean, we were talking about everything. And he was like, hey, listen, I'm usually either attracted to someone, but they're not very bright, or they're really bright, and I'm not attracted to them, or I'm getting a double vibe. Would you like to go out again? And I was like, oh, yeah, listen, I like you. You're a really nice guy. But I got a level with you. I'm having a baby this year. And he said, should you be drinking that much sake? And I said, I'm not pregnant yet. And he said, well, I've had a vasectomy. And I was like, I don't want your sperm. I have my own sperm. Like, I'm not looking for a baby daddy here. And so he called for the check, obviously. And we left. And on the way to my apartment, he kept asking me questions about it. And I was kind of just sharing. And so he asked if he could come in and look at the donor. And I was like, sure. The paperwork, I didn't have any pictures. And he looked through it and was like, yeah, he's about my height and blah, blah, blah. And he kissed me goodnight and said, I'll call you. And I was like, sure you will. And the next morning, I'm a nurse anesthetist. I do anesthesia at part-time now, but back then it was full-time. And I had to get up really early to go to work. And he called me early that morning before work and said, listen, I had a great time last night. Do you want to go out this weekend? And I said, dude, do you remember, like, how much did you have to drink last night? Do you not remember our conversation at the end of the night? And he said, yeah, but I was raised by a single mom. My sisters are single moms. I'm a single dad. I mean, you know what you're getting yourself into here. So, I mean, you know, I have respect that you know what you're doing, but you want it so badly. You know it'll be hard, but you want it so badly you're willing to do it alone. I respect that. You keep doing you, and let's just see what happens. And I was like, damn, okay. So we started dating, and anyway, he ended up going to my appointments with me later on, and I got pregnant with my donor sperm in March. And we got married when I was 6 months pregnant in September, and my daughter Ava was born, my dream child, one of my dream children, was born November 21st, the night before Thanksgiving that year. So, all of this to say, Christmas morning, we had my stepdaughter, who was then 9, and she looked up at me. I was holding the baby in the rocker, like a rocker recliner thing, not like a rocker. And she looked up at me. She was opening all these presents, and she said, "But Tracy, what do you want for Christmas?" And I literally could not even breathe. I just looked at her, and I looked at this baby, and I looked at my husband, and I thought about the last Christmas and how lonely and how sad and how pathetic we were at that table. And I just said, "Baby, I've got more than I ever dreamed of, more than I ever asked for." And I had put it out there, and it had come back to me in spades. I was just asking for the baby. I wasn't asking for an amazing stepdaughter and an amazing husband and soon to be another amazing child with my husband. I wasn't asking for all of that. I was just asking for the baby. And I got so much more because I believed in it, and nothing was going to stop me. And to share also, my friend, Christmas Day that year, already had started his construction business. He still has it. This is how many years later? 12, 13 years later? I can't do the math right now. I got emotional. And my other friend was out that Christmas in San Francisco with his son. So everything we decided had come to fruition because we made a decision, and nothing was going to stop us. And so I just want to share, some of you think, you know, what can happen in a year? Don't underestimate what you can do in a year. Just leap, and then it will appear. I've got so much more I want to share with you guys, but this has already gone almost 13 minutes, so that's pretty long. I'm going to try and keep these short, but I hope this helps inspire some of the woman out there who is concerned that she's getting too old or can't find the right man. I had my last baby at 41. He's perfectly healthy, beautiful child with my husband's sperm. Another story. So a lot can happen in a year. So don't stop dreaming. Don't stop believing, to quote Journey. Have faith. Declare what it is that you want to happen, and then go make it happen. When you ask the universe or pray for something, move your feet. Move your feet. Don't just ask for it or pray for it and then sit there and just wait for it to fall on you. Pray for it or ask for it and move your feet. Leap, and it will appear. I promise.